I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Commission on Disability Issues, June 7th, 2021 at 7:05 p.m. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded and now it is also closed caption. All right, if we could do a roll call, please. Lorna.
Here.
Darcy, I know, is not here yet. Lois.
Here.
Paula.
Here.
Lavon.
Here.
Janice.
Here.
And Sherry. Oh,
Here.
great, thank you. Okay. Next, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Lois, you're set with the flag? Awesome.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The mission statement of the Commission is to address the needs and concerns of our disabled residents and provide their full participation in the activities and services of Wakefield. As I do not see anyone from the public on, we will move to the approval of the meeting minutes of May 3rd, 2021. Does someone want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Paula. And someone to second?
I'll second it.
Who was that?
Lorna.
Lorna, thank you. Okay. Lois, how we doing with money? Any more money?
No.
Same, okay,
Yes, watching it.
okay. Well, that's, I guess it's a good thing. People are obeying the law. So, as Lorna and I talked in regard to the agenda for this meeting, and we thought it would make the most sense to just do a summary of where we are, since it's going to be our last meeting before we recess for the summer. So where we are with some of these loose items that we have been working on over these past months. So I'll just start from the top there. Lorna, do you have any update regarding the youth council? Have you been contacted by anyone?
No.
So the same. So we're still waiting to see whether there is, and now the kids are out, so we're probably not going to hear anything until the fall.
I know that the principal had expressed interest in supporting this when I had emailed her originally. So I know
Right.
she is definitely in favor.
Right.
It's probably, graduation, end of school year, I'm sure is, but I bet if you did a follow-up email, she would reply.
Right, we'll give them a week or two. Once the summer comes, they'll have a lot more time on their plate to be able to address things like this. And just to mention it, you all were copied on the email that we received from Representative Garabedian in regard to the accessibility platform at the Wakefield train station. So we have responded back to her that the commission is in favor. We reached out to Bill Renault, our disability, the ADA coordinator for the town. He certainly was on board. He said town council is on board. So, hopefully that's going to be something that the state and the MBTA decide to move forward with. And I've just asked them to reach out to us if there's anything we can do as far as additional advocacy to help move that along. So now that I have the representative's email address, we will follow up with her on a monthly basis, just to see if there are any updates. So I have Janice, curb ramps was there. I'm not sure if what the update was supposed to be on that.
We had talked about curb ramps for the outdoor restaurants
Oh, yes.
downtown Wakefield. And I have no idea if they have done anything or plan to do anything. Has anybody seen them or been
Yes.
by?
I haven't been to every outdoor location, but there were definitely, there was definitely one. It wasn't really in front of Cafe Italia. It's in front of Harrington's. It seems like the outdoor seating is now, and there was definitely a ramp there.
Okay.
And I don't remember, Lorna, I know you were going around too. Did you recall whether did you see any others? I think the town provided them to these restaurants, so I don't think.
Jan has seen 3.
What was that,
There's-
Lois?
Jan has seen, I have seen 3.
Okay. All right, so yeah, they are out there. I went on to Tuttle Street to,
Public kitchen.
Public Kitchen has one, okay.
Public Kitchen, Harrington's, Sabatino's. And very nice that Kids Go, the
Oh, right, you were saying
art
that.
place for children and probably adults too on Albion Street also has one. So there's 4 that I've seen.
I think maybe the Blue Moon too.
I haven't been down to Greenwood, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, okay, that's, so,
They just dug up the sidewalk on Albion Street, so I think Kid Casso is probably not there anymore.
They're in a different building now.
They dug up the sidewalk.
They dug up the sidewalk.
well, they'll get it put together, but I think everyone who needs one, I think the town has provided them, or at least there's communication between those locations and the town on how you get them. They're metal ramps, that's what we're seeing.
So there's no place that's still in need of a ramp. That's great.
Hopefully, if there is, they're reaching out to Bill, but I think he was on it. I think he was out there looking before it even started, just to be preemptive. Okay, the next, I'm
Now,
sorry.
wait just a second. Janice, did you say that you saw in another town some ramps? I did. I saw some ramps up in Rockport, and I just happened to be walking by and took some photographs. They have 2 sizes of ramps. They come in like sections, and you can get a 6-section ramp or an 8-section ramp. I just didn't know if they had been. I haven't ventured out to restaurants yet. It's not. I haven't. Maybe soon, but not yet. So I haven't been downtown to see if they're there. But that sounds like we already have them. So, but they're.
We learned from that.
That's all we need. That's good. I'm glad.
Hopefully that, that there are going to be no accessibility issues. I guess the season is early, so we'll keep our eyes open.
Not just
And,
restaurants.
Bill
You're right.
Renault will be the point of contact. So if you are out and about and you see something that is of concern, just feel free to go ahead and email him. And just, if you would please copy me and Lorna, and as well as the our town website, town email address, just so that it's public record.
Could you put Bill's email address in the minutes? Or do you have that?
Yes, we could. I don't have them handy, but we will do that.
Thank you.
North Avenue.
Mary Lyon. Yeah.
It might be in one of the emails that we've gotten.
I'm sure there, yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure it is. It's definitely on the the town email. He corresponds with us all the time.
There's a store on Albion, North Ave, Mary Lyon, it's called. It's a
Mhm.
it's
It's
a-
good.
Children's clothing store, I think. Yeah.
very nice.
They just started outside.
just started outside.
I don't know if they have a ramp though.
I don't know if they have a ramp though. I've been in it, I bought some baby clothes, but not for me.
Thank God.
A miracle.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah. No, it's 10, Foster.
Okay, next item is the deaf child sign. Lorna, that's been all you, so you
Yeah.
can provide that update.
Okay, so kind of like summarize it. Bill Renault has also been involved in this. He has given us only one sign to be used that's approved by the MUTCD, which now I forget what that stands for, but it's kind of like includes all the states. The symbol that he said is the only one that is approved is a kind of a caricature of a person in a wheelchair, which, talking with the parent, this was not an appropriate sign to be used for her child. So I've been in contact with Jeff Dugan at the Mass Office of Disabilities. And he was going to look into it a little bit further. Mom and I had talked, and we had first decided that probably just having slow children playing would be better than deaf child, because then it wouldn't be singling out her child. It would be more inclusive, because people should be slowing down for kids in that neighborhood anyhow. However, slow children playing is also not an approved sign. So we were back to this caricature of a person in a wheelchair, and it really is inappropriate to use this sign as kind of like the poster child for anybody's disability. I think in a way it's taken advantage, my own personal feeling is taken advantage of somebody else's disability in order to, you know, cover anybody's disability, which I think is quite inappropriate, in that whoever the governing people are for making signs should really need to relook at this. However, Jeff is going to be researching it a little bit more and getting back to us. The mom is very patient, and she knows that we're doing everything we possibly can. She knows the situation. So just waiting for Jeff to be able to have some time to get back to us. Do you think the Mass Commission for Deaf and Hard of Hearing would know something about this? They may, although she doesn't really want to have deaf child either. Right. Some of my deaf friends and parents that I know had also expressed that they, if it was, you know, something was to take place for their child who was also deaf, said that they wouldn't want the deaf child up there, but slow children playing. And according to some study that was referenced out of North Dakota, underneath this MUTCD, they were saying that the slow children playing sign was useless, because that kind of like gave the parents a false sense of security, and therefore they weren't watching their children. Which I thought was a little bizarre to do that as a general statement for all parents who have children with maybe like a slow child playing sign.
Personally, I find it offensive to see slow children playing, because if there's no periods, there's no comma, there's no
I
exclamation.
know it.
Like slow children, you know, exclamation children playing. It just looks like you're labeling children
The
as
children is being slow. Right.
It bothers me. I don't. like that sign.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's always kind of bothered me too. But not to have any kind of a sign that's appropriate, I think is doing a disservice too.
I agree.
Is there any research on signs that making a difference? No, and none that I've seen so far. And also this comes down to a liability issue, I guess. If a sign that is not approved by the MUTCD is used, and then something happens, you know, then it's the town's problem because they're the ones that approve the sign. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Can you tell me what that means?
MUTC, yeah, but just a second, let me Google it again.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can't, you know, I can't always remember what these things stand for either. I should write them down more so that I have them.
Massachusetts.
No, it's not just Massachusetts. That's the whole thing. It's kind of like a
Municipal, I forget.
it could be municipal.
Yeah.
Manual on uniform traffic control devices.
Do that again.
And I went through this whole manual just about, and most of their signs have to do, of course, with route numbers or, you know, highway things or anything to do with driving, but nothing really specific about, at least I couldn't find anything really specific of what we were looking for.
I think this is the same, similar to what we ran into when we were trying to
Yes.
get the sign for
Autism.
somebody with autism.
Correct. Right.
And I had mentioned that to Jeff Dugan also, that this was the second time we've run into this. And,
Caution
you know,
with the yellow background.
if we can't do something for the parents, then we just need to be able to, horrible to say, just tell them right up front, sorry, we can't do anything to help you out.
Well,
What-
if that's the case, the traffic commission shouldn't be referring them to us, but they're the ones that should be saying that.
Exactly.
They're the ones that should be saying that.
Can I
Lois,
ask-
you have a question?
I do, if you don't mind. What about a caution sign with a yellow fluorescent to let people
Which they use
know
around schools.
where they use around schools? If they can use them around schools, they should be able to use them other places around where people live.
That way it's a legal sign.
It's
Plus it
legal.
shows up better.
That's not been something that's offered to us, that has been offered to us by
But-
Bill or the traffic commission. I mean, we,
But what about,
They have them next to
Yeah.
schools, the yellow fluorescent background,
Yes, I know what they look like.
but what about,
crosswalks and that they have.
Right,
but what
right.
about Jeff, what about Jeff Dugan? He's really good.
well, we're waiting to hear back from him. We're waiting to hear what, you know, he's doing some research for us to see
Right.
what, you know, what maybe other towns are doing or what other ideas may be acceptable. So,
Is this something that maybe we write a letter or send an email to, like, maybe, I don't know, Steve Mayo or something, and ask him? Because this is the second time that this issue has come up. So there's plenty of parents around town that are looking for some sign, and the town keeps saying no. And I wonder if there's an official policy at this point. It seems like that we could either say, well, the town policy is, or if there is no town policy, like, it feels like there should be one at this point.
well, I think what Bill Renault is saying to us is the town policy is we only use signs that are in this manual, and the signs that you are asking for are not contained within the manual. That's what I'm hearing him say.
There is one article that was cited saying that the Department of Transportation and the Institute of Traffic Engineers all discourage the use of deaf child area warning signs, but not one of them cites specific research demonstrating that these signs are ineffective. And one implies that no such studies exist. There has been a mention that the flashing slow warning lights, that was somewhat effective in slowing accidents in crossing areas. But it looks like there's no research showing that it does work, but does not appear to be research showing that it doesn't work.
Right, so I think the next best step is to wait to see what Jeff comes back with, if anything, because if he doesn't come back with anything that, or if he can't find anything that's acceptable, then I think it's going to be truly fighting City Hall to get something like this put in place, because
Oh, I'm sorry.
they're telling us no, the town is telling us no, because Bill is effectively the town engineer and the ADA coordinator, so he's citing the reasons no. So how do we rebut that? What kind of substantiation or research are we going to be able to do to dispute that? Basically, at least that's where I'm going. Sherry?
I drive down Washington Street in Stoneham a lot between my mom's house and my house, and they have a sign and it's got white lights around it. And if you're speeding, the white lights are going off and it says slow down, or thank you if you're going the speed limit,
Right.
it's 25. So, Wakefield, I think, needs an overhaul because the cars just go so fast.
Mhm.
I mean, you can barely get out onto Albion Street, or there's millions of streets, but I mean, Jordan Ave, they go like 40 miles an hour up and down the street. It's insane. And, we have children on this, street here, and I'm sure a lot of others, but I think we should look at doing our policy for the speed limit in town, just like Melrose has, Stoneham has. And those signs are very effective because I'll notice it. And I mean, I'm usually the thank you because I drive like grandma. I get sworn at a lot. But, those might be helpful instead of having an actual sign for a deaf person, or, you know what I mean? And one of these signs that feel offensive to a parent. Maybe we could look at having the town do an overhaul on the speed limits and then have those signs available in the locations where we have people, with other abilities.
Well, we may be seeing that with all the construction in town. They may be forced to have to begin to do that to reduce the speed limit.
Yeah.
So we could definitely.
I think because we're at the crossroads of two main interstates, we're a big cut through town. People are cut through town to avoid traffic, and like you said, Sherry, they just speed right through town to get to where they need to go.
Mhm. Yes, they do. I like the idea of putting up one of those slow down signs. People, I think, seem to pay more attention to them, and if we could, that might be something to offer to the parent to see if that would be something that they're interested in.
Because it flashes. All the other signs people don't even see anymore. They're just whizzing by. They're not noticing. But a flashing one with the lights going around it, it does catch your attention.
Mhm.
So,
And I wonder how they determine where they go. Like, what's the rationale for where they place those?
Good question.
So, yeah, we're definitely gonna do more investigating.
Yeah,
Lorna and I will, hopefully we'll hear from Jeff and we can then communicate to Bill and copy all of you over the summer as, hopefully this progresses and we get a positive outcome. But I just wanted to show you, I don't know if you can.
Marie,
Yes,
I don't know if it's just me, but totally lost the closed caption on here.
no, I can see it.
I still
Yeah.
see it as well.
Me too.
Can,
Darcy, do you want me to keep taking notes?
Sure.
you want to talk?
Okay,
Well, no, it doesn't, or we can, yeah, it's probably easier, right?
all right.
And switch.
I'll send them to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
Lorna, try clicking on the CC again and see
Right.
if it works. Where it says CC Where's the live training. CC? Do you have where it says raise your hand at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
And that next to it, does it say live transcript? CC?
Oh, that, of course, there it is. You know, it had been a beer, it would have been, make sure.
Try it. You can click on it. And
I just clicked on view full transcript.
show subtitle. Do you have that?
There's subtitle settings. Let me see here.
Oh, I have three things. I have show subtitle, full transcript, and subtitle setting. I wonder if you're missing something.
Could you see it originally, Lorna?
Yeah, I could see it originally.
That's weird.
Well, I do think it's recording because the rest of us are seeing it.
Right, it's,
so-
well, okay, because I see the recording button on, but I don't know where my,
Lois, do you have a question?
Can I have Dan talk for a second?
Sure.
He's got some possible information here.
Yeah, Marie, some of those signs you were talking
Dan, can
about,
I just ask you to just state your name so we can follow the regulations here? Please,
and 10 Foster Street.
thank you.
Oh, it's Benjamin.
The signs you're talking about, I think we've discussed those at the traffic advisory, and they go for probably $5,000 to $7,000. Most of them are solar powered, and you see them down in the junction by the dog park. And some of the lights go around the sign, like they're little LED or cob lights, very bright. And Merriam Street Bridge, I think, has one too. But again, there's a cost to it.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a cost to somebody's life too, but that's been brought up a lot. And, you know, some of these speed signs in like Melrose, Stoneham, they're set up, but they really can't be enforced. So that's another problem. But the lights you're talking about, you could probably have them, but it depends on the terrain of the street. We talked about putting a couple of them in on Montrose Ave, but it's so twisty and curvy, it's hard to get that distance, the sight line.
Yeah. Why can't they be enforced?
I can't tell you that, but I know if you talk to Lieutenant Anderson, he'll probably give you the exact reason for that.
Okay,
But he said it's no use, you know, going up and saying, well, it's 25 miles an hour or 30. But you might also think the DPW has, I think, 5 or 6 of those flashing signs that they could have put at a certain location. You know, like they have in front of the Galvin when they have voting day,
yeah,
and they could set those up for a certain length of time. And I think the police department has their own little set of little trailer vans that they could set up something. But just seeing them there, it shows people, you know, they want to enforce the traffic in that particular spot. And maybe they'll learn from that. The next time they come through, they'll remember that sign.
yeah, we will revisit this. Certainly
we-
come September, but hopefully we hear from Jeff over the summer so that and he has some good recommendations.
And talking about the traffic, and I know it's everywhere. Of course, we're right here on Foster Street, so we have Richardson Ave, and we also have West Water Street. That one of them is a bus route, but you get to between 4 and 6 o'clock, the traffic get backed up right through the intersection. It blocks the whole intersection.
Right.
And I said, why can't we have some signs saying, do not block intersection, but in that fluorescent yellow color? And they said, we only do that around schools, a fluorescent yellow color. But I should think they could do something like that for a specific location. If there is a deaf child in that area, maybe that'll wake up a few people seeing that brighter sign.
Yeah,
I think there's also a sign up by the old Bear Hill Golf Course. As you come around the corner, it used to be a little flashing light that, because that's where the golf carts cross over the street. And I don't know how
Right.
legal that is, but
Right, that's right. There is something there. Well, more to come on this and hopefully it's positive. Okay, so then the next agenda item is the Intelligent Lives. And we had a good discussion the last time, and I think we have focused on the fact that we want this presentation to be community business focused. That would be the target audience. And then we talked about having a panel of individuals, a post-film panel about employment and people with disabilities. And Paula, I think that you had communicated in some of your emails that you were on board with that as well. So, and for those who haven't heard, there's a new coffee shop coming into not Wakefield, Melrose Square, called Biddy and Bose. And it's a franchise started by a couple in North Carolina who had 2 children with intellectual disabilities, Biddy and Bo. And they franchised their business, and I don't know who purchased it in Melrose, but they are doing a job fair on this Friday. I'm not sure when it will open, but that I think that will definitely help our cause, because Biddy and Bose will be up and running, and that will definitely be, we can do a lot of advertising for them on our website, and that will be a business that we can potentially spotlight when we're talking about jobs and people with disabilities. My recommendation will be, when we come back in September, to hit the ground running, and we probably should form subcommittees and figure out what the steps are that we need to do to get this off the ground and ready to go for the spring. And we'll have to choose a date as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into the schools or the Savings Bank Theater at that point. I think we're going to just need to break this up, and people are just going to focus on a piece of it so that we can pull it all together. So there'll be, creating some kind of a handout. Lorna had suggested a bookmark, which I think is a good idea. So then what should that bookmark look like? What do we want to have written on that bookmark? How are we gonna get this bookmark created and published? And we need to get our banner to get together. So that brings us to another item, which is the change in our commission's name. We were told that it has to go before town meeting. Now, Lois, you had connected with Julie Smith Galvin, and I responded to her with what we wanted to do and what we've been told, and she hasn't gotten back to me or commented either way. So I'm not,
I can talk to her.
Yeah, I guess the question is, does town meeting, is it true that town meeting has to vote on this? Or is this something that the town council can handle?
Oh, I would think town council.
Well, Bill Renault is
No, well,
telling us because the commission was created by town meeting, that this change has to be done at town meeting.
Now, do you know this was started by myself and 2 or 3 other women 33, 34 years ago. Okay? Nobody in town has ever been on a board. So me thinking, I don't think I mean, Dan, Marie was just saying that I think what I'll try to do is talk to Julie about what Marie is saying, that we have to, I really, because this commission, I feel, not because I've been on the board, but because the commission has been, I feel, helping a lot of people. We have helped a lot of people. First of all, my parents got large print books in the Wakefield Public Library 30-some years ago because I could not read regular books. I am legally blind. I was a 2-pound baby when I was born and 2 months early. So I think as far as going through the town council or before the whole, I can't think of the word, the whole
Town meeting,
town, thank you for helping me. I do appreciate that.
anytime.
I think I would have to ask Julie about that. I think that is really, I mean, that's almost as bad as saying, oh, you have to go through the town meeting to change your name from Commission on Disability Issues to Commission on Disabilities. Don't you think? I mean, I don't mean to downplay anything. And I'm not saying this because the people that were with me that started going around town and trying to get people on the commission. At one time, we had 2 lawyers. We had another lawyer. We had 2 people that did have disabilities. We had 2 people that had wheelchairs. And so you can't say, you know, that we haven't helped people. I mean, you just can't say that.
Well, I don't think that's what they're saying. I
No,
think,
but
there's rules. And so, and we don't know them. That's the bottom line. So we need to
You know what I-
collaborate with someone who does to understand what has to be done.
Okay,
Yeah, and we need to try to do it as soon as possible, because if we do
Okay,
have to go in
but-
front of the town meeting, then we need to be on their
You know-
agenda.
Right.
okay. My other question, and maybe I'm pushing it or talking to, is it or would it be, not me, of course, but my real question is, why couldn't either somebody on the Commission on Disabilities or Julia Smith Galvin or one of you, can't think of the word. I knew you guys' names.
Officers, you're thinking one of the
Officers.
officers, yeah.
Offices go to Tom,
Mullen, legal
Mullen.
counsel.
Mullen.
thank you,
Council,
the council,
town council.
town council, but also Mullen has something to do with that, doesn't it? Wouldn't he?
Well, it's my understanding that Bill Renault and he have spoken. That, you know,
And
Bill Renault and Tom Mullen have spoken, and
what does he say?
it's what Bill is conveying to me is that because the commission was officially created through a town meeting, and we follow the Massachusetts statutes, that the name change also needs to be voted on at town meeting. And I don't know that it's going to be its own warrant article. I think what he says is there's often a warrant article on town meeting that's a catch-all, that there's a handful of different things like this that are included in there. And, you know, people, it's just a formality. I don't think anybody is going to vote it down or anything like that. It's just a formality.
I guess
I think it's on the charter, so.
it's probably in the charter, but I guess my other question is, and I shouldn't be. Now, I know another town, Stoneham has a commission. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go to the Stoneham one and ask if they had to go through their town.
Well, that's their name to begin with.
That's their.
Right. You,
Yeah, but
Lois, that's going to be your mission. You can connect with the Stoneham folks to find out how they became in existence. And if you would follow up with Julie to, you know, confirm that she received my email, and, you know, does she know for certain what the next steps are?
Oh, I'd do that if that isn't out of my range.
Nope, go right ahead. Take the ball and run with it and see what you can find out. That would be very helpful.
On Thursday.
Okay, there's a town council meeting on Thursday. Now, the other thing is Reading has but it's not listed, but we have nothing to do with that. But I'm just letting you know that Reading has something like that.
They have a private group.
They have a private group.
Okay, so it's not regulated by the town.
That's right,
Interesting.
right.
They can raise money.
They can raise money too.
Well, we
But-
can too. It's just, it goes
Right,
into the town
different.
coffers and they hand
Right,
it out, they
right,
dole it
right.
out to us,
And-
so.
Don't take it that I'm angry, because I'm not. I'm more, I'm proud of myself and others that I have worked with. And I have worked very hard, I feel. It may not show, but I feel that when I help somebody, like I have done here with the commission and others in town on other boards. And that's how I feel about living in Wakefield.
Lois, I just want to commend you because I've only been on the commission, I don't even think a year yet, but but I'm sorry, Levon's talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to thank you because I really do feel like your passion for this commission does come through very clearly, and you are very passionate about issues for people with disabilities in the town, and it really shows, and I've been very impressed by your commitment and your what you give to the commission.
And thank you. That's so nice to hear. And it's, it makes me feel good. Sometimes I don't feel good about myself, but I feel good about helping others and my husband and doing things for other people. That's my venture, I guess, of being on different boards in town.
Well, participation is really important, Lois, and without people like you, none of these boards would exist or accomplish anything. So your participation, I've told you this a million times, is always welcome here. We are very appreciative of your thoughts and your support.
She walks the walk every day. So.
Exactly. That's
I do.
exactly right.
I
That's
do, believe
exactly
me.
right.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. I really do.
I think at the town council meeting Thursday, they're probably gonna come up with some new liaisons to different groups in town. And Julie Smith Galvin, at least to me when I talk to her, and I, support her, and she's done things for me. She really supports the Commission on Disabilities and, wants people to know it's there for other people. And I think you may see some changes with Julie there. That'll be very supportive, and the commission will like having her there.
Well, and that's going to be our mission come September. We need to get our name out there because we want the town to know that we exist as well. And so, hence the reason for the banner and the Intelligent Lives and all this stuff that we're trying to get through. It's just so frustrating when something that seems should be so simple is taking us like a year to get our name changed. Because again, another thing we talked about was, being present at the farmer's market, and I investigated that a little bit, and you have to make that request, and then I get the impression that there were a lot of groups and nonprofits that want to be there. So you have to be chosen. And at this point, without our banner and our brochures or whatever, we're not prepared to do that. But if we can get this moving, and we certainly can work on it over the summer, we don't have to wait. If Lois can get an answer from Julie and town council can approve it, then Lorna and I will work on making that happen over the summer at one of their meetings so that we can move forward with this. So you go get them, Lois, and get back to us and let us know what the plan is.
I will, believe me.
Hopefully it is just the town council.
The only thing that would keep me away for the summer is going to Canada.
Well, that's fine. Do what you can do before you go, and then just let me know where you left off, and we'll pick it up from there, and we'll work it while you're gone.
We're a phone call away.
That's right. I can always text you.
Well, like I said, in all seriousness, it really got me in my heart to hear all that.
Well, you're appreciated. Know that all the time.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, well, thank you, Lois, just for all the work you've done, your dedication. But I was wondering if we were going to be at the Festival by the Lake in the fall, how they've been doing the festivals.
Yeah.
Could we get a table there?
That would be in next week, and I don't think they're having it this year.
Oh, it's the fall?
It's usually in
Second Saturday.
June. It's
Yeah.
the, what's the one called in the fall? What do they call? Festival by the Lake is June, and then what's the one in the fall?
The only thing they have would be the Italian festival, and then the one that's at Christmas.
No,
I don't know if there's anything in the fall anymore.
They don't have any Christmas.
Yes, they do. The holiday stroll.
Spring and fall, like crafts fair or.
Right, yeah, I'm thinking we haven't heard anything about the one in June, so that's probably not happening, but
So I was thinking, even if we can't get a table there, maybe we can get permission to pass out, flyers,
Right.
and we could use the bookmark and, work over the summer to get it made. I
Right.
mean, it doesn't take long.
I don't think it will either. We just have to come up with
Yeah.
some
What do you-
ideas.
What are you talking about, a bookmark?
Instead of a flyer, having something that would be like a bookmark that we would hand out, that would have the commission's information on it. Or,
Okay.
we would need to decide what we want. We'll have to go back in our notes because we talked about that a little bit.
You could even see how much it costs to get a magnetized one that people could just stick on their fridge, because that's right,
That'd be good. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yep, that's a
And,
good
even
point.
if, we go and that's something that we do, we pass it out and we, have on it that we're, going to do Intelligent Lives,
Mhm.
and, maybe have, something set up for us to have something
Yeah.
here at the
Yeah.
Civical Center, or, some open event like that. So just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, keep thinking of the different venues the different events that happen around here that we can participate at, because we don't have to be at every one of them, but if we can
Yeah.
hit a couple and every little bit helps.
Yeah.
The library does their talks, their series, the library
The
series.
Sweeter series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, maybe we can
No, they,
in one of those. And
You up for that, Sherry?
all right.
I think
Okay.
there is a festival this year, and I think it's Saturday.
20,
Really?
Mm,
2021.
I'm looking at the websites and it says that it's Saturday, 10 to
The
4.
books, the book sale.
No,
No, she's saying the
Festival,
festival.
June 12th, 2021.
Festival by the Lake is the second Saturday in June every year.
Yeah, and it looks like it's being held this year.
They didn't do a good job of advertising that.
No,
I
I haven't
haven't
seen
seen it
anything about it.
anywhere.
Me neither.
And usually they'll have the big banner that
Yeah,
goes
they
across
usually
the
have a
street
banner
down by the
across
American
Main
Health Civic Center.
Right.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe they're
Saturday
just,
this weekend?
This is on the Fairs and
Yep.
Festivals website and festival.net, but I don't know if I haven't seen it on the Wakefield website. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, WCNA.
Yeah.
Wakefield Neighborhood Association, blah, blah, blah. It's on their website, June 12th.
And that's 21?
Yep. It's weird.
Wow.
that is interesting because they haven't said a word about it.
They were advertising the book. Book sale.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
library.
I would have assumed it wasn't happening.
Yeah, I would have too. Well, we need to move on that because, the name change and not having this stuff in place is hindering us to do a lot of things that we want to do to get our name out there. So we need to make that happen.
I might be able to help with some graphic things
That would be awesome.
by tapping my daughter who does that kind of stuff, and I'm volunteering her. She doesn't know it.
That would be awesome. We would appreciate that.
Yeah, I could be part of that as well. I used to work in advertising a long, long time
Sure,
ago.
right,
Great.
okay.
I like to,
Perfect.
All right, well, there, we have our first subcommittee. There you go.
Mhm.
Was
All
the
right.
banner ordered?
It wasn't, we haven't ordered it because we don't know that this name change is going to be approved. But you know what? At this point, I almost feel like just doing it.
probably won't even notice.
I'm
you
not
know,
I feel
talking
like we
to
should
it.
as well.
Yeah, I almost feel like we should. Let's give Lois a little time to talk to Julie. And then if it seems like this is going to be a long drawn out thing, I say we order the banner to state what we want it to state. And if our name isn't officially changed, then it's not. But our brand, we'll call it,
Mhm.
doesn't have to be our legal entity name.
And I don't think people are going to be confused by changing the name
No.
and dropping the word issues. You're not.
No, and I don't think, no, I agree with you. I don't think they are. So yeah, Lois, if you could report back after the Thursday meeting and then we'll figure out
Okay.
where to go from
Yeah.
there.
Just to let you know, one other thing, I had an extra, well, my mother had a reading machine, and I just wanted to let you know what I did. I gave a reading machine that was my mother's, and I gave to a friend of you.
Yes, you gave it to a friend of mine
A friend
whose
of,
mom is also legally blind and was very frustrated because she could not read. And now my friend Kelly doesn't have to go there every day to read her mother's mail because her mom can get the mail and put it under the machine. And she says to Kelly when she comes over, I've done that already. I've already done that.
Yes.
So
and there's my new one right there.
we can't see it because of your background.
But anyways, that's okay. I'm sorry.
And she's very appreciative of that. So,
Anyways, I'm sorry.
no problem.
Those background things, they're freaky. When you go in and out and.
I know. Yeah, but when your house is messy
Yeah.
like mine, you don't see all the papers and stuff taped to my work desk, so
Anyways, I'm sorry.
not a problem.
No problem.
Okay,
We got a couple of the old banners you can use if needed for something like that. They're about 3 feet by 3 feet.
Oh, I didn't even know you had banners.
Yeah, these are older ones. We got 2 of them. You know, you could put them on like a table or something, just overlap a table,
Yeah,
but you could use those. Got no use for them.
what were they used?
okay.
Like 101 and that's
Yeah, yeah,
Wakefield 101.
yeah. You could use something like that.
And that's another one, the Wakefield 101. That's another place that we should be
That's twice a
setting up on
fall.
occasion.
Yeah, yeah,
And then there's a health, I think Partners or something puts it on they had it at the Galvin Gym last year, I think.
yeah, yeah,
But it's health stuff, so which might blend right in.
yeah.
All right, so we need to make a list of these venues so that we can kind of divide and conquer, or just identify which are, we feel are going to be pertinent to us. The next item on the agenda was the, social media training. We had talked about at our last meeting, but we've concluded we're going to just remove the Facebook page that we created separately and just use connect on the town's Facebook page, so that we're not forced to individually maintain a Facebook page, because what we're being told is if we maintain a Facebook page, they want to see postings at least a few times a week on there. They want it to be active. And
That's
I
too
think
much
we all
work.
concluded that nobody really wants to take that on. So they've sent me instructions on how to delete the Facebook page. So I'll take the action to figure out how to do that sooner rather than later. There was Sherry Dalton had communicated with us, but there was also a piece in the Wakefield item that Governor Baker filed legislation to allow these municipal meetings to continue via Zoom and not in person, and through the summer until September 1st. I haven't heard anything further, but I'm going to assume that that's the plan unless we hear otherwise. It pretty much won't affect us because we are currently not planning to hold any meetings for July or August. Really, those are the 2 months.
Right.
But however, if we do have to meet for any reason as a group, it is going to have to be considered, a public meeting, and we will have to post. Even if all of us can't be there, we will have to post the meeting ahead of time. So I guess let's keep that in mind.
Okay,
Otherwise, we just communicate via the town website, not the town website, our email. Always copy our commission email address so that any communication we have remains public record. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is, we're required to elect officers on an annual basis. Beginning next year, we will do it in April after the town elections, because that seems to be when most of the boards do it. But up until now, we've been doing it in the fall at our September or October meetings. So I'm going to ask each one of you to consider, we have chair, co-chair, we're calling it a secretary and treasurer, and we probably should change things up a little bit. So I would ask each one of you to consider the positions, and, maybe I'm going to say, send me an email, just a private email, if you're interested in holding one of these positions, and we'll hold elections either at our September or October meeting, depending on how organized we are, to change things up a little bit.
Change that.
Anybody have any comments on that?
Secretary to clerk. Secretary to clerk.
And we also talked about having liaisons on some of the other boards, and we listed those boards. Lois is already the liaison on the Traffic Advisory Council.
Yes.
And it's Vision 2030 too, Lois, is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So where I got this list from was just going to the town website, and also interestingly enough, the Youth Council had a list of all their council members and what boards they were a liaison to. And so I kind of harmonized those two lists, and this is what I came up with. So, you know, we can handle this any way we want. We may not, nobody may be interested in being at every meeting of these other boards. It may be we're at a meeting or two throughout the year, introduce ourselves, let people know we exist. And, you know, and you can monitor these meetings yourself at your leisure, either, you know, from their web pages, because they're all doing what we're doing. They're posting minutes, agendas, and they have recorded Zoom meetings. So you can keep up at your leisure and not feel that, you know, at a certain night, at a certain time, you need to be on one of these, you know, be live on one of these boards. So look at the list and think about anything that might interest you. And we can talk as a group when we come back together to see, you know, maybe we can't hit all of them, but see which ones are most pertinent. I think, you know, probably a lot of where they're doing building, we want to be involved to have input. And Bill Renaud has been very good about reaching out to us if he needs input, or basically it's if he needs advocacy from the commission, just like the state just did, right? They felt that our endorsement was going to make a difference. And I think that's happening within the town too, for them to be able to say, and the commission also supports this. They must check off some box, but whatever, as long as they include us, that's at the end of the day, that's really what counts.
Marie,
So I'll
do you
just-
want us to email you if we're interested in?
Yes, if I would, if you're interested in a position, you know, all of those of us that are currently officers have, you know, we've been doing this for a few years, and not that we're not happy to continue, but I just think I think it's important that everybody has a turn. And I know some people feel intimidated, but you shouldn't be, because obviously we support one another.
Do you want us to email you about the other the boards or commissions?
Yes,
as well?
if there's a commission there or board that you would have a preference on being liaison to, yes, let me know that. And I'll try to put like a little spreadsheet together, and then, you know, if there's somebody that, you know, we'll figure it out. I can't imagine there's going to be a run that everybody's going to be running for one board. Hi, Janice.
Could you tell me what the Town of Wakefield accessibility project is? I'm not familiar with that. What kind of accessibility are they looking at?
Yeah, I think that there's a few projects going on that I'm sort of confused about. I'll see what emails I have from Bill, if any, and if not, I'll connect with him to get you more information on that. I know that they've gotten some grant money. You know, some of the work they're doing on Albion Street is via a grant. They just did a lot of work. They did some work down in Greenwood, like they did bump outs near Blue Moon Cafe, and I forget where else, but I know he came to us to say, you know, we've got some money and this is what we're going to be doing with it. Do you have any recommendations really what he asked us is, you know, where are different locations in town, such as group homes or organizations like Communitas that Paula works for, you know, what organizations like that exist that would benefit in some way from some of this funding we had. And at the time I had mentioned to him that in Greenwood, right adjacent to the firehouse is the POST program. So those are the students that once they turn 18, they're not yet ready to leave the district. They are entitled to an education through age 22, and they are housed over at, there's a little building adjacent to the firehouse there in Greenwood. And that's where they call it post, you know, post-grad opportunities, basically. And they're on the train station, you know, on the T right there. They can easily walk to the T, obviously walk to the shops in Greenwood. And they did some work there by post, fixing the sidewalks, just making it more accessible for those kids, because it was a mess. The sidewalks were coming up. It was just a mess, you know. I don't know if he put, I think there was a crosswalk near the lights there already, but he did, you know, he did a little bit of work there to provide support to them to make their access to and fro a little better. So, and I'm not sure, what I'm saying is I'm not sure if that's part of that Wakefield accessibility project, but I will get with Bill to get more detail, and I'll send it out to everybody. Do you know, Dan, what that is?
Yeah, that's Bill's project there, and he, just what you explained, any new project that goes on in town, even like buildings that are going up, it all passes through Bill Renault, because he is the town engineer. And
he is the town ADA coordinator.
He'll, you know, put in the ramps. Everything has to be ADA compliant now. When they do the Envision, that's going to have all new traffic lights and signals with the push buttons at wheelchair level. It's going to have chirpers. Everything is going to be up to ADA standards.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And
Right.
my complaint about the commuter rail is right now they're actually in violation, but nobody seems to put them on the spot for it. But nobody in Wakefield can get on one of those commuter trains if they're in a wheelchair.
Right.
That's right.
Right. And what was interesting is when I sent our email to them, I pointed out to Representative Garabedian and the fact that we had so much development going on in town, and a lot of it was around the train stations. And she responded back that, you know, she wasn't even thinking about that, and that would be a point that she would make. And you know what, that's a reality. We're going to have a lot of people moving into this town, and we have no, you know, a lot of these places have elevators, so people could have accessibility issues. And how stinky is that? You spend $500,000 on a condo near the train, and then you realize that the train, you can't get on the train there.
Do they have enough? I wonder how they're going to engineer that, because we don't have very wide platforms on both sides of the train. So
First, we got to get it.
It's
I
wider.
don't come up with it. You're probably talking $100,000 project. There's one there in Melrose. I don't know which stop it is, by the Steel House.
Yeah,
which
there's
is
one in the Highlands too.
Reading is I think a wooden raised platform.
There's also one in Andover. I've taken that because I fell asleep on the train.
Been there, done that.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes. But I'm wondering if the outbound side, the inbound side has more width, but the outbound side is pretty narrow when you get, so they might have to do something that's accessible from the sidewalk.
No
Don't give them
excuses.
excuses.
No, but they're probably going to have to do it accessible from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how they do it. Oh, I won't give them any excuses.
Well, they're getting a lot of monies from the Fed through this COVID relief package, so yeah,
The
they
Fed?
can
I
throw
don't know if you realize.
$100,000 to Wakefield to make the
that
platform.
would be so
accessible.
useful to anybody getting I'm not very tall, so getting up that step, it's a really high step.
I know.
And if you have a hip issue or you have any kind of mobility device, it's almost impossible to get up there, and they don't wait very long. So it's not a lot of hanging around waiting for to make sure everybody's on.
I don't know if you realize it, but the town of Wakefield gives the MBTA $600 and I believe $12,000 a year for the privilege of having that commuter rail and the 2 bus routes, which is only 1 now.
Wow.
But 612, and many other towns chip in an equal amount. But every year we give that to the MBTA.
And
That's
only
right,
one bus now. There were 2, 1 now.
Well, hopefully that will pick up as, well, we'll see, because, a lot of people may not be going back into the office. So I'm sure a lot of that is going to be affected by usage.
I went into Boston. It wasn't easy, believe me.
And I'm sure it's worse now.
North Station.
And they've done a lot of work at places like North
I know,
Station, so
right.
they are spending some money. So now it's time to come out to the suburbs and
Yeah.
help us out a little
Right.
bit.
North Station, all of the exits are now, I mean, when I started commuting into Boston, there was no accessible exit at North Station either. You still had to go down that giant step
Yeah.
till they redid North Station, and then they elevated all of the platforms.
Mhm.
But I assume people aren't contemplating also doing this at the Greenwood stop, just at the Wakefield stop.
Yeah, for the time
They
being.
said Wakefield Station, so yeah, if we
Makes
get
more
it at
sense.
one place, we'll be lucky.
Well, because that's not all of the trains don't stop in Greenwood, whereas
Right.
they all stop in Wakefield.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Right.
That's right.
So I'll go around, since this is our last meeting, to each of you, to, if anybody has any last minute comments that they want to make before we adjourn. Lorna?
I
Anything
don't think
else?
I have anything added to add. I do want to say that I think we've done very well this year being remote. And I think that we've actually accomplished things by finding out where we need to look for information, which I think has been very, very helpful. So even though we've had to put some things still on hold, like changing the name and Intelligent Lives, we're really still moving forward with finding out information on other things. So I think it's been a very productive year, and definitely challenging with the technology. And by the way, I did find out where my closed caption went. Somehow the font size got changed to nothing.
There you
No.
go.
So I did find where to change that and got myself back up onto closed caption. So
That's a good thing. Lucky you really didn't need it.
I know, I'm wishing everybody a really safe and fun summer. And hopefully everybody has an opportunity to enjoy some vacation.
What's that?
Okay.
Sure.
Darcy?
I'm sure. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great summer. Also, I am curious now that we had the closed caption, is there a way to get a written document of this? Because that could be our notes.
Yes,
That would be so
actually,
See it? You can see. Oh, you can see a full transcript in the side, but I'll tell you, I've been watching it because I'm taking the notes and I'm watching it. It's not very
accurate.
Yeah, it's not. I
Well,
wouldn't use it
there's a
as
lot of
a- as a
misspelled
minute.
words, but you'd still you might be able to cut and paste from it though, you know?
Like the old
Maybe.
Godzilla movies.
It makes a lot of mistakes. It's not so much the spelling. It hears you wrong. And
Oh,
like it just said, I'm in the old movie. So nobody said I'm in the old movie. So I don't know why it says that. I can see
Oh, that's
if you
great.
click on the transcript, you can see what it's saying.
Yeah, no, I see it typing in front of me. but, yeah. All right.
Mm. Paula?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Lorna had said. I think it has been a really productive year despite the remote nature of meeting. And I'm excited too that we got that stuff on the website, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to update it come next year. And I'm excited for Intelligent Lives and all the other good stuff to come. And I hope everybody has a fantastic summer.
Thank you. Same to you. Levon?
I've had a great year. This is my first year on the commission, and it's been wonderful meeting all of you and working with you all and listening to you all, and thank you everyone for all the things that you put out there and all the work that you do. It's been really nice.
Thank you. Janice?
This is only my second meeting. But I'm very excited to be with all of you who you're clearly doing really important work. And I feel very honored to be part of this group. I like the pace of the group, and I like how sincere people are, and it's been lovely for my 2 meetings. Also, I have one other thing that I wanted to throw out, and I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. I had asked the Zoning Board of Appeals in regard about the development that allegedly will eventually go in at the head of the lake. And if you want, I can reach out to the architect and get something in by email from them to find out how many of those units, what percentage of those units are going to be made accessible. And then we could even ask somebody to come to our group and talk about that and find out if the units are going to be accessible ready, or are they already going to be fully accessible. So they can be accessible ready by having wider hallways and other things, but will they have low grab bars and other items that are actually needed right off the bat? So, sorry.
Oh, look, Kitty.
It's our new commission member.
That would be wonderful if you're willing to do that, to get us some information. Sure. That is definitely a project that we're going to need to stay on top of.
And I will give full confessions that my husband is on the Zoning Board of Appeals and has been on that committee for a long time. So I hear all the meetings from the kitchen on a regular basis. And some of them go till midnight. And so I don't think people want to actually go to all of those, but we can find out in advance what topics are being discussed, because most of them are private home issues. Right, people are looking for variances, but that particular project, I think it would be great if this committee kind of stays on that project and gets a little more active in that particular huge thing, because we should create units for people that are accessible, and then, you know, maybe the train will be accessible by then and we can have better space for people.
Right. And, you know, people are up in arms because of the number of units and the concern over, you know, how many kids are going to be coming into town, how, you know, the number of cars and additional traffic that are going to be coming into town. But, you know, what would it take them to consider? I think I may have mentioned this before, you know, 55 and over and individuals with disabilities. Why can't they just focus on that? They could still have the same number of units, but they would have no additional children coming into town. And, you know, the cars would probably be cut in half.
It's a good question.
It's just, you know, I guess it's putting that bug in the owner, whoever owns that property's ear. You know, I don't know if it's harder to sell those kind of units. I don't know, but Yeah, we definitely need to stay on that because there's going to be a lot of visibility. And I mean, come on, if, you know, pressuring him to make units handicap accessible, we have nothing to lose.
I agree.
I think all have to be converted to handicap accessible or can be converted.
Right, I would think that.
40
would be-
Bs have to have certain number that are already ADA.
According to what they said is that I think they said 5% of the units have to
Yeah.
be built to be
But I think
retrofitted.
all have to be able to be converted too.
I don't think, not all of them.
I don't think
because
all.
The hallways don't have to be the extra width. So it's, but we'll find out. We'll find out exactly what they,
Because I know the one on Crescent Street is like that. It's able to be converted over to ADA compliance.
Mhm.
And then when we have to reach that 10% goal as far as affordable housing, then we could put a moratorium on 40Bs.
Time will tell. All right, Lois?
I want to keep going.
Okay. That's a deal.
That's the deal.
Sherry, did I miss you?
You did miss me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've really enjoyed working on the commission this year. It's a nice group, and I think we all have our hearts in the right places, and you know, we're all working towards the betterment of our community, and you know, we all have our expertise and our reasons and how we want to help. So looking forward to continuing next year and hopefully stay well and be able to participate.
Thank you.
Marie, can I just add something that I didn't have down on the agenda,
Sure.
but in my travels early in the morning around town, down by the big playground on whatever the street is, Spalding Street. I remember last year, probably it was in the fall, that we had two people come in and talk to us. One happened to be a friend of mine who mentioned about the Johnny on the spot, the portable outhouses being inaccessible. And I had gone and talked to Joe Conway about it. And then the pandemic came. And so in my travels recently down through that way in the morning, they have now, they have placed them, but they have placed them down on the street instead of putting them up on the raised part of the property. So they are now more accessible to anybody that has a mobility impairment to get into one of those Johnny on the spot. So that was really good to see that actually was taking place, that whoever was the deliverer of these portable outhouses, you know, was delivering them to an area that could be on the street and not like in the street. Well, it's an indentation, so.
Right. Well, thank you for pursuing that because I know you made a few calls in regard to that, to get that to happen. So it's unfortunate you can't just say it once, but we've all lived that. So it's called persistence, right? And advocacy. So you just have to keep at it till you get what you need. So thank you for that. So thank you all. It's great to have new faces on the board. It's just so much better to have more hands to help and people that have such great ideas. And I really love being on this board, and I just really look forward to, you know, we've got a lot of things that we want to try to accomplish. And I just, you know, I'm looking forward to getting some of these done next year, especially the big ones like the Intelligent Lives and, you know, some of these developments that are going up in town to, you know, to be able to have some input into those. So I wish you all a safe summer. Yeah, stay well. And reach out. We'll continue to monitor our town email address if anything comes up, and what we can do on our own, right, to try to keep things moving would really be appreciated, so that when we come back in the fall, we hit the ground running, because it's hard where we only meet once a month to try to get things accomplished. So I think if we create subcommittees and those groups can meet more during the month, I think we'll have more success in getting things done.
They want banners.
So with that,
Hold on,
go ahead.
sorry. The question was, I can't remember. The question was, can I have everybody's address? Can you send them to me by email?
That way she-
Why doesn't everybody send you their address? Just
Yeah.
send
Good.
because you want to
That's-
send out those booklets?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Name and,
yeah, everybody just
Name and address and stuff.
send Lois your address directly if you would like a booklet, and she will get it off to
Send them,
you.
I will send them off.
There's a couple of other little flyers there too.
My apologies.
No, not a problem.
Thank you, Lois.
So.
Thank you.
So after we find out about our name and stuff, we'll find out about the banners.
Well, it'll be at
That'll be
least,
next year.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully you're gonna get something good news on Thursday, and then we can run with it from there and try to get this done.
Yeah, so I will get to Julie before Thursday.
Right, and just tell her to, if you're gonna be away, she can just communicate with Lorna and I,
Yeah, I'll get to her.
if
before
there's
we-
something that needs to be done.
Okay, and then the
Okay.
banner. And then we'll just.
And then we can do the banner. We'll go to Rod for the banner. I think we kind of know what we want to do. We've talked about that. So
I don't know if you can show
if we
that.
can do that, we'll do it.
Okay. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Oh, that's the banner. Okay.
That's the
Well, it's the
banner.
old, one. It's only like about a 3 foot. It goes on top of a table, a folding table like, but that's why
Yep.
if you like 101 or something, you could put your stuff down on the table. But that's
So
the
it's the
old,
town, that's like the town seal.
Yeah.
But we had talked about doing the bandstand, right?
well, this is the old one from a couple of
Right.
years,
But we're not gonna
but
use
at least
that.
it's something to advertise the commission on disabilities.
Right. If we want to, if we want to do
Yeah.
something before we get a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? Is that Lois? I can't see. Who was that?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Sherry.
Plus, there's no
Second.
more secretaries. They calling them clerks now. The position.
Okay.
Mm.
Matter of semantics. They still do the same thing.
I know.
Somebody want a
Wait,
second?
Today.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, the meeting is adjourned at 8:33 p.m. Thank you all. Enjoy your summer, and some of us will be talking regardless.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Okay, well,
Bye.
Enjoy Canada.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.